Eating is natural. But these calorie counters saying calories in, calories out have made eating into a maths test. Every meal is like a maths test. You have to count this, count that, calculate this. When did you eat? At what time did you eat? Time your meals. How long did each meal last? Eat 5 to small 6 meals a day. See, some things in life are natural. They should be natural. Eating, excreting. You don't say time your dumps. How many minutes did your dump last? Have 5 to 6 small dumps a day. No, it's instinct. It just goes. I wouldn't be surprised if they come up with a home testing kit for bowel movement. When you go number 2, measure the dump volume, the dump's fiber content, dump water volume, and time the dump and for how long you took the dump. And now, since you already have the calculations for all the calories that came out, now you compare this with the dump statistics and see if there is a gap. Calories in, calories out. If there is a problem, eat less, exercise more, you lazy bum. Since the beginning of time, mankind has managed to survive and thrive without calorie counters and apps and alarm clocks and timers related to meals. They have just eaten naturally because eating is natural. These people who say that obesity is a problem of energy balance, you have to balance your calories in and your calories out, ask you to keep a food diary. This is written on one of the reputed websites for weight loss. Obviously, they believe in the calories in, calories out theory of thermodynamics to account for your obesity or weight gain. They say keep a food diary. A simple pen and paper can dramatically boost your weight loss. Really, pen and paper, not knowledge about food, pen and paper. The act of writing down what you eat and drink tends to make you more aware of what, when, and how much you're consuming, leading you to ultimately take in fewer calories. Yeah, really, it has worked so well in the past 5 decades that right now we have the highest rates of obesity worldwide and insulin resistance caused metabolic syndrome, which includes diabetes, hypertension, and sudden heart disease. All these are on the rise. And here are these people saying these same things for the past 5 decades, saying this will help you reduce your food intake and this will help you reduce obesity. Okay, now since they're telling us to maintain a diary, let's look at a typical diary entry. Let's consider biscuits. Since they tell you that you can eat everything in moderation, we'll eat biscuits. A pack is 100 grams. And this biscuit that I'm talking about is what they called low fat, high in fiber, digestive. I don't know what the term digestive means. Anything you eat, you digest. Anyway, it's called digestive biscuits. It's supposedly good for your health. Okay. A packet is 100 grams and it says it has 485 calories per 100 grams. But since I'm not going to eat the whole packet of 100 grams of biscuits, now I have to convert this weight into number of biscuits. And this is where the university rank winning husband comes into the scene. Because it involves what we learnt in school, I think, direct proportion, indirect proportion, all this maths, so many grams is so many biscuits, so many calories, so many grams is so many biscuits is so many calories. Okay, you get the picture. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. Every time he explains it to me, I feel like I've understood it. But then when I'm alone and doing it on my own, I don't know where to put what and do the math. Anyway, so I'm sitting and counting biscuits because now I have to know the number of biscuits. I've done this. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've counted the biscuits without opening them, feeling them on the pack and counting them. And now this guy comes and says, I have to convert it and says so many biscuits has so many calories. So one biscuit has how many calories? The husband counts this. So now I'm like, okay, so one biscuit has so many calories. So for today's calorie intake, I can have so many biscuits. I've counted all this. And then I'm doing all this maths, okay? And then on the pack, it's written 20 grams extra. Now I have to redo the calculation. Now it's 2 sums instead of 1 sum. First sum is so many biscuits in 120 grams. So how many biscuits in 100 grams? This is one sum, first sum. Second sum is so many calories in so many biscuits. How many calories in 2 biscuits? This is 2 sums. And actually there is one more sum. How many biscuits have I already eaten? Well, I've done the math. I mean, is this even natural and normal? Is it practical? Can we do this every time? And this is for biscuits. Now consider potatoes, for example. Now if you boil them, it's a different calorie count. If you mash them, you'll probably have to add either milk or cream. That's a different calorie count. And how about sauteed potatoes? What's the calorie count for that? Deep fried potatoes, shallow fried potatoes, say French fries. All these different ways of cooking has different number of calories. And what oil you use to do all this, that is a different number of calories. So every time you even cook a normal dish like potatoes or say green peas or any dish, you have to do so much maths. I don't see how practical this is. And if you're eating 5 to small 6 meals a day, imagine how many times you'll have to do this maths test. Very few people count calories. Even the ones who say, oh, it's simple, just calories in, calories out. They don't do the math. For every single meal, they don't do the math. Majority of people just go by approximation. I'm counting my calories, they'll say. Oh, just a few biscuits, a little chips, just half a jangri, 2.5 badusha. You can't count these things. But they'll go by approximate numbers. Oh, and 1 handful of aloo bhujia or mixture, 1 handful of omu pudi. Seriously, 1 handful? This handful has been the cause of many wars in my family. I'm eating something. Husband comes along and says, give me just 1 handful. I say, okay, because I'm thinking of my handful. Man comes along, his hand is big. He takes 1 handful and I'm left with almost nothing on the plate. So this handful, few spoonfuls, just a couple, all these people who are calorie counters and say it's so simple as just calories in, calories out, they don't do the math. Nobody does the math. So nobody knows how much they're actually eating. And this doesn't work out. In the LCHF lifestyle, you don't have to do a maths test every time you eat a meal. The LCHF philosophy is eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. You don't have to do math. You just have to know what to eat, and that's it. There is much detail about what foods to eat in our website. Check it out. Empower yourself, and when you eat, enjoy your food. You don't have to pass the math test at every meal.